We are Bathurst bound. All right, so in our effort to relearn the Porsche Cup and get good at it again, we're headed back to Bathurst. Got ourselves a 206, let's see here, 572. And we did this about 7 months ago, and I was able to get a 206 flat, basically. But the car's changed a bit since then, and I looked at other people's times. Fast guys are going to be doing about 204s now. Maybe high 203s, and everybody's slowed down a bit. I think that the cars changes. So I took down the previous guide video, and I'm gonna link it up here. It's just unlisted now. It's still there, but yeah, it's since things have changed, I took it down, and I'm pretty happy with our 206.5. It took a while to get it. Got the optimals down in the 205s, but wasn't able to put everything 100% together. Hopefully it'll all come together in the races and enough to get us some good spots and some iRating maybe. But yeah, I'm excited to head back here, keep on getting gooder at the P Cup, and yeah, without further ado, let's show you the lap. And then we'll kind of go through how we did it, and we'll come back here and finish up.
You've just done a 208.20. Sector 3 is 0.30, slower than your best. That was a 206.57. Sector 3 times okay.
This is a tough one. 2023 season 3. Let's go. Got ourselves a 206.572. Got a decent exit out of this last corner here. We'll go over that when we come back around. Accelerate through. First braking marker is going to be around the 100 board here. Kind of going off of this light pole here, which is a little bit behind the 100, kind of in between those two is where we're going to start hitting the brakes. So get on it, and we're going to turn in. Kind of, I kept on trying to get myself to turn in a little bit later. We're letting off the brakes here and starting our turn in. Ease the wheel in a bit more, get back on the gas. We're going to shoot, trying to get up over here is going to be kind of our exit point. And I got this down better later on, but I couldn't put the rest of the lap together afterwards. But yeah, I could have definitely used quite a bit more track out here. You can get your right wheels up onto that area. It's full on the rest of the way through this straight. Pretty straightforward. Haha, pun. All right. Next braking point's in between the 100 and that access road, or driveway, I guess, probably there. So we're gonna start getting on our brakes here. Start thinking about it. Get on it in earnest here. And we're gonna start slowly letting off as we come across this turn 2. Just easing the wheel in as we let out slowly on the brakes. Just trying to get that nice diagonal down arrow on our braking trace. And then we're feeding the throttle back in as we kind of come back out here. So we're gonna start feeding the throttle in. Now, I don't end up using in this car a ton of this curb here. It kind of upset it a bit. I probably can use a bit more of it than I do, but I noticed that when I was hitting it, it kind of upset the car. But yeah, we're gonna full throttle as we straighten out, get up on it a little bit. There's a bit more to use there. I didn't feel comfortable with more than that. All right, full throttle here. We're gonna try and get the car over to the right as far as we can here. Here's this white line. We want to get on the right side of it. Probably could have gotten a little bit further over, but it's I have a phobia of walls. But we're gonna get full throttle through right up until we kind of get here, and then we're gonna start hitting the brakes. So we get on the brakes harder as we come through. Kind of hold them. Just trying to keep that pressure on the front wheels so that we can turn through the rest of the corner here. And then as we're exiting, we're going to ease off on the brakes and start feeding the throttle in a little bit at a time until we can kind of straighten the wheel back out. And once it grips back up, we're full throttle onto the straight. We're coming up here. There's a little bump kind of right about here in the track. And you just have to be aware that it's there. And you can take it full throttle. A little lift doesn't hurt, but you can go full throttle over it, especially once it's warmed up a bit. And then we're gonna come through here, and we're gonna try and get as far on the side there as we can. And I tend to lift a little bit into this corner here as we turn in. Just a little lift. And then we're going to get back on to full throttle as we straighten out. We're going to keep going full throttle through here. We're going to dive down. We're going to get down into this dip here, and we're gonna let that grip us up as we kind of come in, lifting a bit as we come through, but that'll grip us up as we come back up, and the road pushes into our car basically, so then we can get back on the throttle as we come over here. And just back on full throttle. And this corner coming up is the scary one. So we're gonna, I tend to lift a bit as we approach it, like that. Lifting a bit. And then we're gonna come on over, get our left wheels up onto this curb. Looks like I may have gotten scared and tapped my brake a little bit. Then as we're coming out, we're gonna full throttle it, and we're just gonna come all the way over to the right, tap the curb just a smidge, and then kind of, I have a really good, other than these tire marks that I left on a previous lap, spot where I'm braking. It's kind of a bit past where the color changes. It's not a great marker. Maybe this where the grass ends over here is a better indicator of kind of where you should start braking. But we're gonna have to be kind of deliberate with our braking through here. So we're hitting the brakes, and we're just on the edge of locking up. We can see the indicators kind of tripping right there. It says we're locking up just a tiny bit. So we're gonna fluctuate the brake pressure as we come down here, and we're gonna use a bit of this curb as we come, keeping our right wheels on the right hand side of this, letting up on the pressure. And we're gonna come down here, and as we're gonna kind of lift the brakes again as we come to the right. We're gonna try and keep the car on the right hand side as we come through here. We're gonna give it just a little tap of the gas, and then we're gonna come hit the brakes again as we bring the wheel back over to the left. Just kind of keep that pressure there to keep the wheels gripped, and then we're gonna start feeding ever so gently, a little bit of throttle in, a little bit more as we straighten the wheel out, and then we're full throttle again. And this is one of the scary parts. This stuff, all these turns come really quick, one right after the other. But we're just holding full throttle, and then kind of here-ish is where I'm thinking my braking is going to be. I probably hit it sooner. Yeah, I hit it sooner. But my thought process is I'm going to get slowed down by here. So we can start braking kind of a little bit before you get to the end of this pusher sign. Yeah, we're gonna brake, and this forest elbow here is my worst corner on the track by far. So if you can get this better than me, you will probably get half a second. Maybe not half a second, maybe 3/10, but quite a bit. But what I'm gonna do, and I probably could have turned in a little bit more here, but we're gonna kind of try and get as much of this road as we can, and then start keeping our brake pressure on so we can turn in. Without the brakes, we're just going straight, no matter how much wheel we put into it. So we're just keeping that brake pressure there. We're gonna try and keep it close, and we're starting to feed some throttle in, just a barely little bit amount, and keeping it close to the wall here as we feed a little bit more throttle in and start to open the wheel up as we exit the corner. We're starting to open up now and feeding the rest of the throttle in, and it got loose on me there. I think if I would have been a little gentler with the throttle application, if we would have held off just a little bit more on the throttle, we would have had a better exit there, and would have had a lot more exit speed coming out of there, but we didn't. So that's what it is. Just gonna go full throttle through this next part here. We can fast forward because it is just full throttle. There's a bump here. It kind of throws me off a little bit. So you want to be a little bit careful there. Once we hit the 150, we are gonna slam on the brakes. We're throwing the anchor. So just full braking force as we hit this 150 marker here. all the way on the brakes. And we're going to start letting off. We're letting off the brakes. We're trying to downshift down to third as we approach this corner here. I think if we broke a little earlier, we might have a little bit better time through this section here. I think I was a little late on the braking. But we're just letting off the pressure, and then we're going to start feeding the throttle in as we come up over the hill here. And we're back on full throttle. And we're full throttle through here the rest of the way, coming all the way out over here. And then our next braking point is going to be the 100 marker. And it's going to be pretty heavy braking, not quite as heavy as the last zone, but pretty heavy on the brakes here. And get down to second. And then we're going to start to turn in. And we're gonna, you know, hold that pressure, that tiny bit of pressure on the brakes as we're turning in, and we're giving the throttle as we come out. And we're just part throttle as we got the wheel turned. We're gonna straighten the wheel back out, and the rest of the throttle the rest of the way. And then it's just, you know, get the car settled down. And full throttle the rest of the way through. And we got ourselves a 206 572. So yeah, it's Bathurst is a fun one. I had a lot of fun last 7 months ago when we did this. Did pretty well, and we'll see if we can get that done again. I'm excited. Get back in the Porsche Cup here. It's tougher to drive now than it was than I remember it being. Anyway, yeah, if you want to watch more of these guides and some races, hit the subscribe button. It helps out. Thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Head on over to twitch.tv/thepultdownman if you want to watch along live. We'll see you next time. Bye.